Okay, cool. So we're going to lie down all the way. And just take soles of the feet together, knees out wide. If that's too much, if you feel like that's a strain to hold the legs out, then don't bother, just stretch them out. Place one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest. And you want to take a big breath in, kind of feel the hands lift up and apart. And then as you exhale, they come back down and in together. Take a big breath, hands lift up and apart. Exhale. So as you breathe in, bottom hand is going to lift slightly up and away from you. Top hand lifts up and towards the face. And then exhale. As you breathe out, they almost melt back together. So breathing in. And breathing out. All the way in. All the way out. Okay, and then bring your right knee into the chest, holding onto the shins. So just pull the right knee in. If you can, try and keep the shoulders down into the ground. So just rock that right knee from side to side. As you're doing that, make sure the left leg is stretched out and relaxed. So you're rolling that right hip side to side. Try to massage into the hip. And then take your right hand, hold on to the right foot, and just see if you can lift the right foot up and away. So you'll start to feel a stretch in the back of the leg. If the knee stays really bent, that's fine. It doesn't have to go all the way up. You just decide where you feel that stretch. It's coming into the back of the leg. Don't force it. Try and send the heel away, shoulders down and heavy. And then bring that right knee in. Take your right arm out to the side, left hand onto the right knee, pull it all the way across the body, first spinal twist. So take the knee over to the left side of the room and you can look over to the right. Big twist through that right side, trying to sink the right shoulder down and trying to move the right knee all the way over to the left. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Bring it back to center. Give that right knee a hug into the chest and then stretch the right leg out long. Give it a bit of a shake once you've extended that right leg. Notice the difference between the right side and the left side. And then bring the left knee in. Start by just gently shifting it side to side. I always feel when I go to that second side, it feels really tight in comparison. Just massage from left to right, right to left. You're also trying to compress that left thigh in at the same time to massage into the tummy, massage into the digestive system. And then your left hand reaches for the left foot, kick that left leg away. Might not go that far away, might stay down here, whatever is your stretch. We're all super different. Don't force it. Draw that left shoulder down. Try not to let the left shoulder get too lifted away. Trying to keep that left shoulder down the back. And then left knee comes back into the chest. Hold it with the right hand. Take the left arm out and find your twist. So your left knee comes across to the right and look over to the left side of the room. Big twist through that left side of the spine. Inhale. Exhale. All the way in and all the way out. And then come back to center. Bring that left knee in. Bring the right knee in as well. Just hug both knees into the chest and then scoot behind the thighs, so between the thighs and the shins, and just rock up and down the spine a couple of times. So just rocking and rolling. At some point, you'll have enough momentum to come all the way up to a seat, maybe 2 or 3 more. And pull the waist in as you rock up and down. And when there's enough momentum, you're going to cross the legs, sit nice and tall. Place the hands on the knees. Take a big breath in, draw the shoulders up to the ears, and then squeeze them back and down. Take a big breath in, draw the shoulders up to the ears, and then squeeze them back and down. Last one, take them up. Squeeze the shoulders back and down, and then take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, reach the knuckles away. So really try and squeeze the shoulder blades down the back. And if you like, you can lift the gaze up. If it's okay for the neck, if that feels compressive in the back of the neck, then don't bother, just keep the gaze forwards. You don't need to force it. All the way in with the breath, all the way out. And then release. Come over to all fours, hands and knees. Nice neutral lines through the spine. So long reach through the crown of the head, tailbone travels back, wrap in around the waist. So engage, bring that corset of strength into play. So kind of wrapping the abdominals round from the side. And then inhale, take the chest forwards, gaze forwards. Exhale, arch and round, pull the waist in, round through the back. Inhale forwards, open the chest. Exhale, round, engage, stretch through the back of the shoulders. One more here, look forwards, breath in. Arch and round, breath out. Now, instead of being flat on the hands, I want you to rise up to the fingertips. If it's too much to push down through the fingers, almost like you're punching the floor will do, so you can have knuckles down. If you've got big rings, that won't work. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale, arch and round. You should feel like there's more space to open the chest. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale, arch and round. Tuck the tailbone. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale, arch and round. Flatten the hands. Tuck your toes, lift back into downward facing dog. So lengthen through the backs of the legs. Really stretch the heels away, pulling in around the waist. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. Rest to both knees. You're going to keep the left knee down on the floor. Take the right leg to the back of the mat. A simple side plank. You're keeping that left knee down for balance. So reach the right arm up to the sky. And then stretch that right arm overhead. Lengthen through the right fingertips, trying to open from the right shoulder to the right hip. Big breath. And exhale. Then that right arm, take it all the way back. Draw a big circle to open the chest. Bring it out in front of you. So take it all the way back behind you. Challenge yourself to open that shoulder and bring it forwards. All the way back. And bring it forwards. Both hands down. Transfer the weight to the right knee. Take your left leg back. Reach your left arm up. And hold that side plank first of all. So just reach your left arm over, stretch out that left side body. Think, just whilst we're here, all the things you do that mean your arms are in front and your shoulders are slightly rounded. So anything on your phones, laptops, driving. And there's pretty much nothing we do that takes our arms all the way back behind us. So when we do these rotations now, really reach your fingertips back and open that shoulder as much as you can. So really take it up, back and round. And up, back and round. One more. And then bring your left hand down. Tuck your toes. Lift it back into downward facing dog. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Give the head a little bit of a shake. And shake it like it's a dead heavy weight. You're not forcefully shaking it, almost like a bit of a is it a pendulum, something kind of hanging. Reach your right leg up to the sky, lift that right leg high, and then bring your right knee into the chest and step your right foot forwards. Rest your back knee down, reach the arms up to the sky, lift. So I taught someone new in person the other day, one-to-one, and I said, give your head a bit of a shake. And it was so tense and stressful. And I don't want any of you to be like really angrily shaking your head. I want it to be like a loose wriggle. Opening that left hip, so really move into that left thigh. Take your right hand to the right waist and then lean over to the right side. So there's a side bend in that left side of the body. Breathe in and breathe out. Maybe your right fingers can touch the floor, but they might not. They might stay on the hip. It's up to you. Pull the waist in, stretch through that left side. And then we're coming back up. Open the arms out wide. Breathe in here. Breathe out. We're going to spin the body over to the right. And we're going to do that a couple of times. So inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Hold it to the right this time. Take your left hand to the floor and reach that right arm to the sky. Open the chest. Lift your right fingertips up. You're very welcome to stay here. If you want to, you can tuck those back toes and stretch through the left thigh. Alternatively, it's stronger through the left ankle and knee. You can just push into the top of the left foot, but that is strong through the front of the left hip. Breathe in and out wherever you are. Waist pulls in, left hand pushes down, right fingertips lift, and then slowly release that back knee. Bring your right hand down, take a step, right knee back, tuck both toes, stretch back into downward facing dog. All the way in with the breath. And all the way out. Left leg high. Lift that left leg to the sky. And then bring your left knee in and step. Place your back knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up. So try not to dive straight. Well, you can go straight forwards, but just make sure it's strong. So the squeeze comes from that back glute to take you forwards rather than like dropping straight into it. And you see the difference because it's strong if I go forwards. It's almost like I'm pushing against something really heavy rather than just coming forward. It's like a push. And reach your arms up. So I'm feeling that stretch from the kneecap pulling all the way up through the front of the thigh. And then back off from the depth. Take the arms out wide. Breathe in. Breathe out. Spin the body over to the left. Breathe in back to center. Breathe out. Spin the body to the left. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. And breathe out. Hold that twist. Take your right hand down and then reach your left arm up. Lifting through those left fingertips. You might be able to see my shoulder blades where you are. Not quite sure if the camera's clear enough. What I don't want you to do is kind of relax down into the shoulders there. I want you to keep the shoulder blades wide. So as if you're in a warrior 2 and you're reaching open across the arms. Breathe in and out. Slowly bring that left hand down and take your left knee back. Tuck the toes. Take it back into downward facing dog. Breathe in here and breathe out. Bend and soften your knees. Walk the feet in towards the hands and then just hang. And I don't want you to hang with straight legs. So hang with really bent knees so you can pour the body weight forwards. Head is heavy. Hips are lifted. So imagine that imaginary belt loop on the back of your trousers and someone's lifting it up like you're hung on a like a butcher's hook. It's a really horrible thought, and I don't know why that's the example I gave there. Like something you'd hang your utensils on in the kitchen. Rest the head. And then arms completely heavy, shoulders relaxed, push down into the feet and start to pull in around the waist. So scoop in through the front of the body, slowly bring it up, really super slow. Don't rush. Restack the spine. As you stand nice and tall, take the hands behind the back, gaze forwards, interlace the fingers and reach them back. So chest is lifted, still trying to find a tuck of the tailbone. So trying to avoid letting the tailbone stick back, but trying to tuck under. You might feel that with that, the inner thighs squeeze together. 3, 2, 1, release and let it go. Arms are heavy. Chin into chest. We'll roll it back down. So pull in around the waist. Slowly bring it forwards. All the way. Down to the ground. Walk your hands out. Take your feet back into downward facing. Take a big breath here. And a big exhale. Rolling to a plank. Hold that plank. So stretch the crown of your head forwards. Reach the heels back. Nice long straight line. Lift it back into downward facing dog. So just engage around the center of the body. Twice more. Pull the waist in. Nice and strong. Long line. If it's too much on the wrists, rest the knees and take it back. Last one. We will rest the knees all together after that. Sit back into a child's pose. Rest your forehead. Soften the arms. So rest your elbows to the floor, forehead down. And you want to breathe, really expand the rib cage as you breathe. So nice big breaths down into the belly, into the chest, even into the back of the body. So you feel this slight movement in the back of the rib cage. So it's not just into the front, but there's this expansion all the way around the ribs as you breathe in and all the way out as you exhale. All the way as you breathe in, all the way out as you exhale. Go for 2 more breaths. So big breath in and big breath out. 1 more big breath in and big breath out. Down into the hands, rise up to all fours. Find a nice strong tabletop position. So lengthen through the crown of the head. Sometimes we kind of drop forwards without realizing it. So lengthen through the back of the neck, wide across the shoulders. Make sure the shoulders aren't here so you're not squashed around the neck. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the toes, sorry, not the tailbone, and lift your hips. So you have this straight line through the spine, pulling the waist in. I mean, you can tuck the tailbone a little bit here as well. That will help. But it wasn't what I meant. Draw the waist in and then lift it back into downward facing dog. Nice long stretch through the heels. Take a big full breath. And exhale, let it go. Take your right leg up to the sky. Lift that right leg high. As you're lifting the right leg, doesn't matter how high it goes, see if you can push the left heel down. So regardless of how high you take the right leg, trying to reach that left heel to the floor. Bring your right knee in and step your right foot forwards. This time, back knee stays off the ground. Rise all the way up, high lunge. So you're stretching through that left thigh. You can bend the back knee slightly. And actually, if you bend the back knee, you can tilt the tailbone under. So scooping under. You're able to pull in through the waist and there's more of a stretch through that left thigh. And then we're going to take left arm forwards, right arm back, same as we did before. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. 1 more breath. Exhale, lift it back to center, stretch all the way through the front of that left hip. Breathing in, breathing out. Rest your back knee down, point your back toes, interlace the fingers and cradle the back of the head. But if I just turn so you can see, almost want you to lift up the neck. So imagine the hair goes up, doesn't it? Kind of comes up the neck. I want you to hold to the neck first of all, and then almost actually kind of give yourself a little bit of traction in the back of the neck. And then open the elbows wide. from there. So it does feel like you're pulling the back of the neck. I mean, for those of you that I've taught in person, at the end of the class when we're in Shavasana, I kind of pull your head, that kind of length through the neck, elbows are wide. And then release. Take your hands down to the floor. Take your right leg back, all the way back to the back of your mat, and the right arm lifts. So we have a side plank again. However, this time, if you want to, you can try and straighten both legs. So you're lifting that left hip and reach that right arm over. So now you get more of a stretch through the right side. It's a bit more stable if you have the feet wider. That's where I tend to hang out. It's a little bit easier than having one stacked on top of the other. And then slowly come back into your downward facing dog. So hips are lifting high, heels are stretching down. Take a nice big breath and exhale. Same leg, right leg up to the sky, so same side. And you're taking a big step, right foot outside of the right hand. So you might get it halfway, and then you just take that right hand and pull it forwards. Rest your back knee down. Rise onto the fingertips. Look forwards. So you're opening the chest rather than rounding forwards. If it's too much on the fingertips, and again, you want to take that kind of punching to the ground, that's going to give you more lift than the hands. Takes the pressure off the wrists for a little while. Breathe in. Breathe out. See if you can find that slight tuck, that slight posterior tilt of the tailbone. Helps you engage the abdominals through the front and helps take the compression off the lower back. Breathing here. Exhale. And then you're going to reach the hands probably off your yoga mat. They're coming out in front of you. Bow the head down. So now there's this long stretch through the back. There's still a big active stretch through the left hip. The waist is pulling in, reaching away, bowing the forehead down. Hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Walk the hands back in. Take your right knee back next to your left knee. Tuck the toes, take it back into downward facing dog. And just take a moment here. You can close the eyes and just notice the space in the front of the left hip in comparison to the front of the right hip. Maybe you notice the difference down the backs of the legs, into the side of the waist. And then take your left leg high up to the sky. Big inhale breath. Exhale, bring that left knee in. Your left foot forwards. Rise all the way up, high lunge. And then just soften that back knee. So still got all this length to stretch that hip out. Tuck the tailbone under. So slight tuck under. Should then feel more of a stretch up through the front of the thigh. And then when our legs straight, we kind of compress this area a little bit. But if we soften, you see you go compressed, spacious, compressed, spacious. So keep hold of that so you're not squashing the lower back. Big breath. Arms out to the side, and then we're spinning over to the left. Right arm forwards, left arm back. Holding that twist. So it's strong through the legs, building some strength, twisting through the spine. I was going to make today nice and slow so that we were ready for the 1st of July, but it's ended up being a little bit strong. Inhale, come back to center, reach the arms up. And then exhale, rest that back knee down. Release the toes. Take the hands to the back of the head. Lift the head almost, so you're not just slumping down. You want to find that lift. Open the elbows. Lean the weight of the head back. Let the chest open. Let the shoulders open. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Slowly take your hands down to the floor. Your left leg goes all the way to the back of the yoga mats. Left arm lifts up. And you might then need to change where the hand and the knee are and stretch your right leg back. That's another thing I've noticed being back in the studio with people, stepping back into that side plank. It's funny, things I think I've forgotten, seeing people in real life, and then I'm back seeing them and I see the little adjustments we need to make. Bring it back into downward facing dog. Same leg, left leg steps to the outside of the left hand. Maybe you have to carry it forwards. Rest the back knee down, release the back toes. Start by being either like you're punching the ground or you're up to the fingertips. Both of them give you a bit of a longer wrist. Whereas when we do this, kind of squash the back of the wrist, which if you're really used to it, it's fine. But if you're doing a lot of practice and that's something that's quite new, it is stressful. Look forwards. And then from there, you're going to walk the hands away from you and bow the head forwards. There is a long line through the front of the right hip. Posterior tilt on the pelvis, so that tailbone tuck, belly in, lower back long. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Slowly walk your hands back in. Take that left knee back next to your right knee. Come and lie down all the way onto your front. So hands beneath the shoulders. Rest your forehead. My head's just lifted so I can speak. But rest your forehead down, legs together, squeeze the inner thighs, point the toes, and really try and engage the glutes. So I want you to feel slightly like you're pulling the lower abdominals off the floor and you're tucking the tailbone and squeezing the backs of the legs. Now, slight lift through the chest. Keep that squeeze on the legs and the glutes, and just lift your feet off the floor. Squeeze. If you feel like you lose the squeeze and you lift too high and it comes into the lower back, go a little bit lower, but find that engagement, strength, inner thighs, glutes, and then hover your hands off the floor. Hold that for 5. Can you slide the shoulders away from the ears? 4. Keep the glutes squeezing. 3, 2, 1. Hands down. Take it back into a child's pose. Fully stretch out and lengthen through the back. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. Rise back to all fours. Toes tucked. Take it back into downward facing dog. Lengthen. Back of the neck, gentle sway through the head. And then instead of walking just your feet towards your hands, walk your hands and your feet together so you'll come to the middle of your yoga mats. Fold it forwards there. Bow the head in. Wriggle your feet together. So I want inner ankles and big toes to touch. Bend the knees nice and deep. Reach the arms up and away. Come into your chair. So lengthen away through the arms. Tailbone tucks. Reaching the hands up towards the ceiling. Wrapping in through the body, squeezing through the inner thighs. And you're going to keep that engagement from the ankles to the knees to the pelvis. Take the hands to the waist. Rise up to standing. Keep rising. Come to the balls of the feet. Hold it. Squeezing up through the inner thighs. Shoulders soften down. Keep that connection through the thighs. Rest the heels. Bend the knees. Come back into your chair. I would keep your gaze either down to the top of the mat or just out in front of you if there's an object, point on the wall that's not going to move. Hands to the hips. Rise to stand. We're coming all the way up to the balls of the feet. Slow, smooth movement. Bend the knees, plant the heels, your chair. Do that transition 3 more times so you can make it more fluid now. Rise up, find your balance. Rest your heels. Find the strength. Rise up, balance, come down, find the strength. Rise up, balance, and come down, find your strength. Hold it there. Squeeze inner thighs to the pelvis. Hands to prayer heart center. Don't rest down. We're just going to twist the upper body. So look over to the right. Only as much as you can twist the spine. You don't need to force or rest the elbow. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. Now look to your knees. Keep them super glued together. Twist to the right. Back to center. Twist to the left. Back to center. Stand tall. Give the legs a shake. Breathe all the way in. And all the way out. Chin into chest. Roll the spine down. Slowly bring it down to the floor. Both fingertips rest. They're a good foot ahead of my toes. And my feet are hip width apart. Push down into your left foot and take your right leg back. And then open that right hip to the right side of the room. Maybe your right hand comes to the right hip, or you can keep your right hand down. It's up to you, lifting up and back through that right foot. 3, 2, 1. Slowly bring it down. Place the right foot down straight away. Transfer the weight. Take the left leg back. Open the left hip to face the left side of the room. That might be where you stay, or left hand lifts. You decide. Shoulder blades wide. Chest open. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back down. Rest. The left foot down. Come to both knees. Keep your toes tucked. So find that stretch through the soles of the feet. Hands onto the thighs. Shoulders drop down. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. I know it's uncomfortable, but just sit with it. It's a good stretch for the feet. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Breath in. And out. Stick with it. Don't rush the last breath. In. And out. And then come forwards. Come forwards and just kind of pat or shake the toes out. And then cross the legs and have a seat. I'm going to spin so I can see you better. Take your right leg out, bring the left foot in, and take the arms out wide. So we'll start with a twist without a bind again. So inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, twist the body to the left. Now, notice how far you get, okay? Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist. We're holding this one. Okay, now take your right hand to where you would normally on the left knee. And think about how much more you normally push yourself than actually you're capable of holding. So where we went when the arms are out is like where we can truly go with the strength of our back. And then where our hand goes down is where we tend to just push it, really. So be quite conscious of how much of your practice is what is active strength and what you can move your body into. So then maybe now find what you think is a good amount of twist, lift that right hand and see if you can hold it without unraveling so much. Okay, and then bring it back. Just one big rotation all the way over to the right. And back to center. Reach the arms up to the sky. Pull your right toes back to the face. So really see my toes are nice and spread out. They can't actually spread out on that foot. I broke some of those toes. But you're going to fold forwards, reach forwards. That was a bad foot to be an example with. Bow the head in. You're trying to engage the front of the thigh to stretch the back. So by pulling the toes back to the face and contracting the quads, I'm trying to pull all the way up through my legs. It's like the front of my leg is pulling into the hip, which allows the back of my body to lengthen. Same, you can assist it by pulling in through the waist to stretch the back of the body. You can slowly unravel. And whilst we're here, spin the body to the left knee. So right leg is out, spin the body to the left knee. Take your right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Reach your left arm up. Try not to let the body come back to the front of the room. So you want to keep your body facing over to the left. Lean over to the right toes. Should feel like a big stretch through that left side of the body. Reach the fingertips all the way up and over. Really pulling from the left side of the lower back all the way up through the left side waist. One of my favorite stretches. And then slowly come back up. Take your left leg out and bring your right leg in. So arms out to the side, spin all the way over to the right side of the room. So acknowledge how far you're actually going into that twist, and then come back and go again. On the exhale, come back on the in-breath. Go back on the out-breath and hold it. Now just take your left hand down to the right thigh. Don't crease yourself round into a twist. There's a time and a place for using your body to kind of assist the twist, but now I want you to feel like how much of that twist is true strength. So if you were to take that left hand away, can you hold it there, or do you spring back a little? 3, 2, 1. Bring it back through center and look over to the left. Arms up to the sky. Left toes pull back to the face, and then you're leaning forwards all the way. Body down, chin into chest, left thigh engaged, waist drawing in to give you some space through the back of the body. Breathe here. Exhale. Breathe in. And breath out. Breath in and out. Take 2 more. And exhale. 1 more breath. Just have to see the time, sorry. Exhale, and then we're not there yet. You're going to come up. Left hand comes to the outside of the right thigh. Face over to the right side of the room. Reach your right arm up and then lean, stretch the right fingertips over as if they're going to come down and tap your toes all the way over. Try and open that right side of the rib cage. So imagine if I was in a room with you, teach, and we were in person, I put my right hand on your ribs and I tried to pull those right ribs open to the ceiling. Hopefully some of you have done that too in person, and you can imagine it a bit more. 3, 2, 1, lift it up. And then just give both legs a stretch out, wriggle them around. Bring the soles of the feet together. Hold on to the front of the ankles. You might find your knees are a bit higher. That's fine, because I want us all to have forearm connection onto the inner thighs. So even if you're here, I want there to be forearm connection. What I want you to do is you're trying to close the knees back together, but your forearms are trying to push them down. So strong, push down through the forearms and try and close your knees at the same time, so that you're active through the inner thighs. It should feel strong through the inner thigh muscles. So it should feel strong right down into the groin. Hold that for 3. Keep pushing down. Keep trying to close the knees. 2, 1. Let it go. So no pressure now. Holding onto the front of the shins. Lift the chest. And then exhale, walk your hands away. Let the body bow forwards and take yourself all the way in to that forward fold. Breathe here. Exhale. Breath in and out. Breath in and out. One more breath. Exhale. Walk the hands back in. Slowly coming back. Take your hands to the outside of the thighs. Just close the gap between the knees. And then hopefully you've got space behind you. Reach the arms out. Pull the belly in and just slowly roll the spine down. Take the arms overhead. Big long stretch. You can reach the toes away as well if you like. Full long stretch. And then let it go. Take your knees up, bend your knees, feet to the edges of your yoga mat, and take your arms out nice and wide. Let both knees go all the way over to the left. So your right knee should fall towards the left foot. And then you're going to lift that left foot and place it on your right thigh. It should pull your right knee down into a deeper stretch. And this is one that when we're in a studio, people always get confused. But I think when you're at home, you have to listen more. So it's left foot on the right knee, because whenever I look, everyone's doing it right. But the moment I get in a studio, no one gets this. Stretching through that right thigh. Bring it back, go the other way. So both knees fall over to the right. Left ankle should fall towards the right foot. And then you lift that right foot and place it on the left thigh. And then that's going to stretch down through that left side. Big breath in. Big breath out. In and out. One more. Exhale. Back to center. And just have your feet flat to the floor. Let your knees rest in. It can be a strong internal twist. If that's what you feel like, take the feet out wider. So it's more of a twist to bring the knees in, or just let it be quite comfy and don't force that big internal stretch. Hands onto the belly. Close the eyes. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And out. Let it go. Soften the shoulders. Work quite hard and quite strong actually this evening. So take a good few moments to just cool down, calm down, quieten the mind. And we get to physically the body as we practice. So think about the practice doing the same for the mental activity in the mind. It's kind of unraveling all the jumbled wires until everything's a bit clearer, a bit easier. Just bring the knees in, give yourself a hug, squeeze the knees into the chest, rock yourself up to a seat, all the way up, sit nice and tall. Place your hands onto the knees, close your eyes, take a big breath in, big breath out. Same as we did at the start of practice, place one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest. Now breathe in, feel them lift up and out. And then exhale, they almost come back down together. Inhale, they lift up and out. Exhale, come back down and in together. One more. Exhale. Bring your hands into prayer heart center. Thank yourself for making time to come and practice this evening.